What's up, YouTube? My name's Wyatt, and I wanted to talk with you briefly about what it's like to host an open house, specifically hosting an open house as a real estate agent. Before I begin, I wanted to make a brief mention that even if you don't have a listing, you can still host an open house as a real estate agent. You can actually reach out to other agents and ask to host open house for their houses as well. Most of the time, for the agent that is hosting the open house, it's not actually the house that they are listing. They are just doing it in the place of the listed agent. It's a really great way to drive in interest in your business and get some new leads as a real estate agent by hosting an open house, since all the people that are going to the open house are interested in houses and are could very well be looking for a house to purchase. So what are the steps for setting up an open house? First off, you will, need to find that house to host anyway. You can look around for open houses using your realtor database. Personally, I use Netris, which is a database that gives me information on a ton of houses that are on the market. There's several key factors that you will need to take into account when looking for an open house. You will want to look for something that will probably drive in some interest. That can be somewhat difficult to do, but you will just need to look around in the area and take note of certain things. When the house was built, what kind of amenities are available, what the neighborhood is like, etc. When you find an open house, you will then want to move on to step two, which is setting up a date and time. You want to reach out to a listing agent and schedule, potentially see if there's a possibility for a open house. You will need to get their and the seller's permission to do so. Of course you do. You'll also want to do this pretty early, like on Monday, so that you'll have a lot of time for step three, which is advertising. Advertising is a huge part of open houses, the build up to the open house itself. There are several ways to advertise. You can advertise on social media like Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever. You can also do physical advertisement. A common method I would use is to print out flyers, head out to the neighborhood where the house is and hand out flyers to the area. Even if the neighbor themselves is not looking for a house or not looking for a house so close, they could either tell a friend or family member who is looking to give it a look, or it could set up a sort of connection there that could lead to a future relationship with that customer. Step four, you'll want to set up some signs right before hosting. So this would be the day of, about like an hour before. You'll want to get to the open house before the open house begins so that you can set this up. You want to go around the neighborhood and around roadways and areas, and you'll want to plant open house signs to help drive up some traffic there. It will be important to do that, as signs are actually a very common way to get people into your open house. There have been people that just come into the open house and say, "Oh, I saw one of the signs and I just thought I'd give it a try, give it a look, just see what it's like." So it's really important to have signs set up so that you can drive up some traffic. Step five, you'll want to be ready for the guests themselves. You'll want to set up the house. You turn on all of the lights, and you also have all of the window sills open so that you can get natural light inside, even though you do have the regular lights on. And when you've done all of that, you should be about ready to host. There are a few things you want to keep in mind when you do host. You will need a list of the people that do come into the house. Even if it's not the policy of your company, you will definitely need it. If anything goes missing inside of the house or something happens, you will want to know who was inside of the house during the time. And if you were the seller, you'd probably want to know who would be inside of your house snoozing around your things. So it is important to make sure that you get people to sign up. And the signups are also an easy way to help connect and get new leads, as you can follow up with the people that you had sign up. There are a few other general tips, such as conversing with the people, talking with them, and most importantly, getting feedback from them. Feedback is really what the listing agent wants. They want feedback so that they know what they can change about the house in order to make it more marketable. And finally, step seven, you want to clear up before you leave. So just turn off all the lights, fix everything, reset the temperature if you change the temperature of the house, stuff like that. Pretty much leave it in a normal state. And then you'll want to go out and clear up all of your signs as well. You do not want to forget those. But yeah, that's pretty much it for hosting an open house. Do keep in mind that not all open houses are successful. Sometimes you will just not get any attendees. It will can honestly just be pretty boring sometimes. I remember hosting an open house. It was a beautiful looking house, very ornate and stuff like that, but no one just showed. It was really weird, even with all of the advertising and signs set up, but no one showed. It just happens sometimes, especially during buyer markets when there are a lot of houses for sale but not as many buyers around. So buyers can be a lot more picky and choosy of what house they want to go to. Other times it can just be canceled for various reasons. Last Saturday, I had an open house scheduled, but it was canceled because it rained pretty hard and the family there did not want to leave because of that. Cancellations just do happen. You could always just reach out and say, hey, if you can't do this Saturday, then how about next Saturday? Which is what I did with that house. Hosting an open house is a pretty good way to drive up business towards your real estate career, and it's something that pretty much every real estate agent does once in a while. You will eventually get into the groove of it once you do a few of them, and it can be quite fun to do sometimes. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I hope you all have a good week wherever you are.